Okay, guys, let's see how that looks. I'm talking in my mic, talking in the mic, talking in my mic. That's me. Hey, hi. Hey, guys, this is Mark Teaches Music, and I am Mark Black. And you're at my improv workshop. And this is session number 32. Yep, sure is. And today's the second day of May, which is weird as all get out, and it's 2023. And I do indeed want you to have fun and be awesome. So, welcome. So, you need to have your instrument or sing. And what we're going to do in our my improv workshop live stream is we're trying to learn to get better at improvising and ad-libbing, making up melodies. And again, it's interesting the people that come, and that the idea is that some people are completely like, of course, what else would you want to do, or and that is, again, a guy's song's going along, da 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 da, and he's singing whatever, and then it's like, take a solo. That's improvising. And other people are like, what are you talking about? When would I ever do that? And I suppose the people, classical musicians, which was everybody improvised up until the invention, basically, of the record player, and all great composers were great improvisers. Certainly Bach was, and Liszt was, and on. Haydn. Anyway, and then vocalist. Now, obviously in jazz there's scatting, where you're taking the melody with your voice, but that's not quite as much. It's maybe a little hard to see in rock, but when the guy would go, the song's going, I would say, the only thing that's in my head is, I've been waiting for a girl. I've been waiting for a girl like you. That's all I can think of. So until, so you get, dun, 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 oh, you would sing a little thing like, yeah, you make up something. That's improvising. So we're check it out. I sound, it doesn't have any, what? It doesn't have any reverb. I just want to loop, not when I'm talking, but when I'm playing. Okay, so anyway, so for information about lessons, go to www.dallasmusiclessons.com, and there's information there about lessons, as well as how to contact me about lessons, about me, etc. And if you got questions, you need to put them in the thing down here. And then at, what's that number? At, what time? At 8:30, we go to our Q&A. We can ask me any questions in the world about music, and I will be happy to say, I don't know. What are you saying? I don't understand you. So anyway, if I don't know, I'll just say, and if I have good idea about a lot of things. So anyway, so we're not just ad-libbing here in the improv workshop now for the next 40 minutes. We're trying to learn to get better. So I'll stop and say things like, hey, you're ugly and your mama dresses you funny. Now I'll say stuff like, here's a way, here's ideas on this. And then again, if you see something that I do and you think, well, that was cool, how do you do that? Or you see something like, seriously, that was really dumb, or I didn't think it was very exciting, right there, whatever, how can I not do that, what you did? It's just fine. But put those in the chat, which is my least favorite word. And then if it's not, the live show is still not going, then email me at mark@dallasmusiclessons.com, and I will respond to you. So we're trying to learn, so we'll stop from time to time and say stuff. So if you have a request for styles, like, hey, I have a list of styles I'm trying to get in, and I have a propensity towards certain styles and things, but I'm trying to be varied. And so you can say, hey, how come you haven't done any, Mongolian throat singing, and the same thing with instruments, which would be the same thing, wouldn't it? But like, hey, I haven't seen you do this, or haven't seen. Doesn't mean I could do it. It just means I'm open to it. And so if you like this, what we're doing, you need to hit subscribe. You need to click the notifications button, and you need to invite people and share the link. And get people here. Get yourself here. And all right, now these are the guidelines, and I'm talking fast, yes, because I'm trying to get to make sure there's plenty of meat, But the guidelines and the things we're doing are important for people who hadn't been here before. So don't sit here and watch this video. When we start playing, I want you to play, and nobody can hear you, right? So unfortunately, you get to hear me no matter what I do, good or bad. So I'm out there, hanging out there in the wind. And so go ahead and play. And so you're going to learn by making mistakes. And you play something, you say, that didn't sound great. Let me try it again, see if I can get it better. Or you can say, wow, that was cool. Let me try something else. So all I'm saying is, don't just sit there and watch. And then the links for the videos, not the links for the videos, links for the keys, exactly what the notes are. And it's not written in notation, it's written in letters. A, B, this is in the key of B flat, one of them. So they'll say B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B in letters. You don't even have to read no music to do it. So anyway, go to that. The link's in the description of this live stream. And go there. And if you can, you should print them out. If you can't, get them where you can see them and use them. As well as the charts for the song, so you can know what we're doing. I mean, you can see with the chords change, stuff like that. Now, so let's see what I was going to tell you. So don't be put up by a style you don't like. I try to do cool things and awesome things, and some of the things when I get them on here and we're actually doing them, I'm like, oh, that's not that great, But make it great because you're doing awesome solos. Think, listen. You do your best to make it a really cool thing, and you could, hey Tom. And then just by the way, when you hear, if you hear me play something that's stylistic on my instrument, like a slide on the guitar, or I'm not going to do it, but a growl on the tenor, I'm playing the tenor, do something that's specific to your instrument there. Figure out some stuff. What can I do on my instrument that would either be like that or be interesting, or it's just only available on my instrument, like Flautetangen on the flute. And you learn a lot when you're trying to do what another instrument does, because each instrument has idiosyncrasies that lend themselves to that instrument and don't work too well with other instruments. So when you try to do it, it expands what you can do. Don't play when I play. Wait and listen and think, what would I like to do? Maybe something I play would inspire you, or maybe it just gives you a little bit of time to think about what you'd like to do. And let's see. And then, like I said, jump right in. And remember, nobody can hear you. And so what we're going to do first is we're going to listen to the progression. Now, what I'm saying is, if you know how the song goes, I'm just talking about the sound of it, like your favorite song, Sugar, yes, please, won't you come and down on me? I'm just saying, if you know how the song goes, then you're ad-libbing, the chord changes I'm talking about. The ad-libbing is going to be a lot easier because you have the sounds. And, of course, there's sight reading reason to be able to do more than that. But the basic for everybody says, I'm hearing these sounds, it'd be really cool. And if what we're doing is too hard, what we're doing today and what we did last week, the first song is all in one key. So the second song today is really only in one key too. So you can hunt and not a big hunt, and they're easier, very simple songs in there. So that means they're not in a lot of they're not using a lot of key changes. Doesn't mean that it doesn't sound cool. So and I wanted to mention, if you're a vocalist, you could sing, and you should sing. And I just to put this song out here, I guess I can just get this going here and see how loud this is. Not very loud right now. Well, that's going to hurt a lot. So I'm playing the song and I don't hear it. So, that's because it's muted. Okay, so if you're a vocalist, you would go, I'm trying to figure out where we are. There we go. If you're a vocalist, that's what you should do. And if you get stuck and you can't think of things to ad-lib, I'm talking about you're a trumpet player, you're a tuba player, you can't think of things to do, sing. Not because you're a great singer, but because that connection to your voice. And it can sound terrible, but it's what you hear. If we can get a solo to come out of your heart or your head to your instrument, then we're successful. That's going to be the best sound. It's going to sound good right from the beginning. Okay, so there you go. Okay, now, so this first song is called Too Cool. And let's listen to it. Actually, let me put this track up. There we go. Look at that. So here's what it sounds like. I'm going to start over while I get my tenor. did push the button. Here we go. Okay, there's the E flat chord. Here's the F chord. You don't care about the chord necessarily. Just here's the change, and here's kind of the punchline, the surprise. The G minor. If you're in the key of C. If you're B flat, you're in the. If you are a B flat instrument, then you're in the key of C. E flat instruments in the key of G. You got charts for all of these in the links. Okay, check it out. Get the bottom line now. B flat, E flat. Hear it? I'm not talking about thinking it. Hear it. Hear it. Okay, now that whole progression, two things I want to point out about the progression. Number one is the whole thing is in the key of B flat. B flat, that's for the key C instruments, it's the key of B flat. For B flat instruments, the key of C. For E flat instruments, it's the key of G. Remember, I'm talking quickly so I can get a lot of things said. And you could literally just play that scale and it would be right. You would not play any wrong notes. Now, as the chords change, what sounds great changes. But that's why you listen. And then the other thing I want to point out, looking at the chart here in front of your face, it's actually the same progression. It starts off with the same progression, except I have to push the button twice because it's some like special program. Here it is. I pushed it twice. So here it is. It does this. Then it goes to E flat. For 2 measures, then it goes to the F for 2 measures, then it goes to G minor for 2 measures. Now the bottom, what's coming up is the same exact progression. It's just now it's just 2 beats, same progression. Just by the way, G minor, B flat, E flat, F, G. So that's just a little side point, kind of organizing your hearing. Now I have to adjust this sucker, and I was going to bring this over here, which is less tremendous, grabbing everything, every sound in the whole world. There I am. But I'm not going to talk in this. I'm going to play this saxophone right into this gigantic thing. Here, see? Like the loudest thing you ever heard. I noticed I listened to the recording I did last week, the live stream, and I didn't have the backing track up loud enough. So y'all can holla and tell me it's not. Starting over, trying to get the backing track nice and full. And I go first, but give me just a second here. Let's see how we're getting on this. Looks all right. Okay. Looks pretty good. I'm going to go first. Here I go. Little song, a little happy song. R&B, sort of. Keep going, keep going. It's the same progression, just less time. Keep going. Now I'm going to jump in on the slow part. Anticipate that change. Not that it's changing. What is that going to sound like? Here it comes. What's it going to sound like? You're going to meet that with notes. Here comes the change. Meet that change with notes that fit it. Take it. Okay, let me pause that for a second. It's my turn. And and start my turn, I will say that. So in the first half, each chord lasts 2 measures apiece. So you can and you need to anticipate, what is that going to sound like? You're just trying to hear it ahead so that when you get to that and you're playing notes, it's like my notes fit that really well. Now, on the second half, where the chords are only lasting 2 beats apiece, dun, 2, 1, 2, 1. You can still do it. It's just a little harder to do it, and it's not quite as productive. So these nice long chords, taking a long time, it's really good to kind of meet that chord change with notes that work. Now, what does that mean? We're in the key of C, or key of D for B-flat instruments, key of G for E-flat instruments. That means that the notes, and go back to C, so I can only talk about one key at a time. For C instruments, which I am not, am I? Yeah. So, what key is this? This is key of B flat for C instruments. C for B flat instruments, and G for E flat instruments. Anyway, point is, so if you're in the key of B flat, your C instrument in the key of B flat, all of those notes work. But for example, when you hit the B flat chord, the B flat, D, F, and A, they kind of sound the sweetest, not the best. You know, and then I play that same thing over an F chord, E flat chord in the PSE, ba, 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 but I play the same thing. While the chording instruments are playing the 4 chord, it won't sound bad, it just won't quite sound as sweet. So we're trying to, at the moment, just with our ear, kind of focus on what we're doing. Okay, it's you again, you get a turn, because I talked during my turn, and here it is starting at the top on the slow, long chords. Try to hear, and here it is. Another measure. Here comes the 4 chord in the key B flat. That's an E flat, so an E flat would definitely work. 5 chord. It's moving, so you want to move a little bit. All right, my turn. And so here I'm going to talk again. So the quickest way to ad lib is, like I'm telling you, like, okay, these chords are all using the same scale. Use your ear, listen, and you'll get these different strengths and weaknesses, basically. C sounds one way over a C chord. We're in the key B flat, sorry. A B flat, the tonic, whatever key you're in, the one chord sounds one way, let's say B flat in the key B flat. When you hit the E flat chord, and now it's the fifth of that chord, it sounds different. When you hit the F chord, and now it's the 4, it sounds a different way. And when you hit the G minor, it has a different sound. It has a different place with that underneath thing. So a more specific way is to notice the chords and you can arpeggiate the chords. We talked about this either last week or 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to take my turn. I'm going to arpeggiate the chords, and I'm going to go through. Actually, I think I'll probably back it up. But right now, we're going to do the slow way. I'm going to hit arpeggiate the chord, and it'll sound very. Basically, we're looking at that though. The meaning. Don't think about what the chord is. Think of 1, 3, 5. If it's an F chord, it's an F A C. If it's an E flat chord, it's an E flat G B. See, I'm using an E. I'm skipping the F. I'm using the G. I'm skipping the A and using the B flat. Yet I'm in this key of B flat. So I'm using an E flat, a G, and a B flat. And that's going to be, and just what would that sound like? Sound very solid. I'll have to jump in right here. I go. And. And you notice that sounded pretty cool. Like, here's the chords, and I'm kind of, yeah. And what's missing in that is that, well, that only gives me, I actually added 7 solos. Sorry, I wasn't thinking about it. So instead of just 1, 3, 5, or 1, 3, 5, 7, and you can do that. But it's because I'm kind of limited to the arpeggio. I'm talking about, go through the whole song. I'm talking about, 5 minutes, and I'm just arpeggiating, just hitting those 1, 3, 5s. Then it can sound very repetitious. It's like, well, why does he keep doing that? And that's because I've only got the 3 notes. And that's the same reason for not using the exclusively the pentatonic. I'm fixing to play. Now I'm going to add on each of these chords. I'm going to try to add the 2s and the 6s and the 7s. This will be still in the scale, but just not quite the normal sounds. It won't sound bad. It'll sound good, but it'll sound just a little different. Okay, so here I'm going to go, trying to see what I can play while I let this go. Here we go. Start over, and you're going to start, and so the quickest way is just playing the scale. It's your turn. Here you go. Go, baby. Go. Stop on this song. We're going to the next song. So what did I want to say? I don't know. There's so many different personalities is a totally fine word, but, and I'm going to switch mics now. So many different personalities, which we can, I'm a teacher, right? So I've taught, actually several thousand students, and And so some people will be totally liberated. Hey, man, just take this scale and wow, it works on all of these things. Just use your ear. He's saying use your ear. Yay. And other people will be like, oh my gosh, that's not enough detail. So, for example, I'm saying that each person has it's kind of a different happy spot. I got enough input. I didn't get enough input. So so an upgrade on, hey, just use the scale. Well, then look at the chord. The chord. That's why I put in the chart. It wasn't so you could play along on your guitar with the chords. It was so that you could say, hey, here in this song, now get this, like this song starts with, ba, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 8 beats, 8 slow beats on a B flat, then 8 slow beats on an E flat. So what would I do with that? I would use some of those notes, the notes of the chord, which is just 1, 3, 5. Start using the notes of that scale and starting on the name of that chord. So an F chord in the key of B flat is going to be an F, an A, a C, whatever F chord always is going to be F, A, and C. And then we just plug in the notes in the key of B flat. And you will notice, even if you don't know B flat, besides the chart I gave you, if you don't know B flat, you'll notice right away when you play an A flat, it doesn't sound good. So you just try the other A and you're safe. Okay, we're going to the next song. The next song is named the incredibly unique name, Bluesy Groove. So, anyways, Bluesy Groove, super cool. And I wanted to start doing this, and I just want to take a second and say, so remember what I said, if you're a vocalist, this is what I'd be doing. Vocalist, that is what you need to be doing. And my mess ups right here are centering on the fact I'm not listening close enough to the rhythm, kind of slobbing things out there. So I'm going to play. I haven't played this guitar in seriously probably 4 years. I did check it for defects, so it was working. Okay, now let's look at this chart real quick. And what did I wish to give you? I wish to turn this off and turn this on, and here we are. So this, I wanted to make this, well, first off, I want you to hear, this is cool. This is a really cool progression. People. Hopefully there's a nerd here online right now. But there's always people like, what mode is this? Which is nothing wrong with that. But if we listen to, I don't know how to say, not jazz per se, but, don't get offended at this. A little more intellectual, a little more complicated music, then yes, a lot of it's based around modes. And the major scale is Ionian mode. It's a mode. But what I wanted to get at was this song I said, and you have the chart there of D natural minor, this sound. And except there is this chord. So there is a C sharp in here, and my only point is that would be harmonic minor. Oh yeah, you can't see both of these things. Well, that's okay. So don't worry about this as a guitarist. Even though you want to know what it is, don't worry about it. But the reason I would say, and it is in natural minor, is that the natural minor scale works for 3/4 of the song, and just not on the A. So when you get to the A, you'll need to raise the 7th note. So if we're in the key of C, or C instrument, it would be D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C sharp, but only over this chord, the A7 or A augmented 7. Okay, now we're going to ad lib, and I'm going to give you a different view because I know you're all just, oh, please, I want to see your guitar neck. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's happening right there. So I know you're all thinking that, so this is not quite the view I was hoping for. Well, that's still not too high, is it? It's close. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, here we go. Turn from the top, and I'll go first. Nope. Second part. Your turn. Somebody over here to listen to this. This is great. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go. that for a second and say that since that, and I was going to do this anyway, since that chord, the A augmented chord on the C chart, it'd be a B augmented chord on the B flat chart, it'd be a, an F sharp augmented, look here then, a D, B, yeah, F sharp augmented. So let me literally say the notes. Now, if you're a guitar player, you probably don't know the notes on your guitar, right? So here's an arpeggio. No, sorry. So it's like your, basically like your F chord, but move to right here. And you could also do that here. So let me skip to that, just as an example. There's the G minor. I'm sorry. Here comes the A. This is you. This is you. Okay. Now let's say you're not on a guitar or a bass. Then the notes of the A augmented would be A C sharp F, which is actually E sharp, A C sharp F G. For a B flat instrument, those notes would be B, D sharp, G, which is actually F double sharp. It's not my fault. So B, D sharp, G, A, and for an E flat alto saxophone or the E flat euphonium, that would be F sharp, A sharp, D, which is actually C double sharp, F sharp, A sharp, D, E, and that would be this sound. Which that chord happens a lot. Okay, you're first, and here we go. Letting you go. Let the horses run. Say, okay, so just for example, now what if you can't play fast? I'm just going to play slow now, really slow, just the notes of the D minor scale, which is the notes of the D natural minor, so it's the notes of the F major scale, and I'm just going to play those notes now. I have to get over here. turn. I'm sure glad I got y'all to play. Okay, so that is that. Just 3 chords. I just thought that was amazing. It's so cool. And so we had. I want to just comment. We had mellow things, and I don't care that you see this as listening. So we had mellow, and so our song sounds like, hey, it's pretty. And we had this sound. It's kind of as tension. So again, all music is tension and resolution. So we had kind of cool. Well, depending on the measure. Tension and resolution, and that goes for our solos. We do that. Our chord, the song itself does it, and you want to put that in your songs, in your singing, and everything you do. Okay, now it is now officially time for To Play and Sing, which is our Q&A, asking questions from around the globe. So anyway, so now is the time to put in your questions. And any musical question, anything about music, anything about learning music, which, my gosh, I sure wish I could have asked me these questions 40 years ago. It would have been really great. So as many questions as you could put in there would be great. That's for you and for me. I like answering questions. Doesn't mean I get it right, but I'll try my best, and I'll tell you if I don't know. And I'll also tell you if I have an opinion that other people don't share, which is an important thing to learn from musicians you like, because just because someone does something doesn't mean it's works for everybody. And so, okay, so let's see. I got to get back to that. I lost it. There you are. Okay, so here we are. Okay, here's a question. Should I always use a microphone when I practice? Should I use a microphone when I practice? Okay, and a related question to this is, should I practice with headphones, depending on instruments, right? Okay, so should I practice with headphones? Should I practice with a mic? Should I practice with reverb and effects? How should I be practicing as far as these? They're artificial because they're not organic. They're artificial aids, but they're not evil. Obviously, they have some people are using them. I used it today, right? Yeah, that's reverb. So anyway, so should I be practicing with a microphone when I practice voice? Should I be practicing with an amp? Should I be using reverb and effects? in my guitar. Okay, so I'm gonna make this as big as I possibly can. So the answer for the microphone and all of these things is the right answer here. First off, is that okay? So when you practice with a mic and you practice with reverb and you practice with effects, it sounds really good. And it's also like in the band in recordings, it's like, hey man, put reverb on there because reverb kind of softens things up, and by which I mean you're not perfectly in tune, you're not perfectly on time. The guy beside you came in a little different than you. And reverb, which is kind of a blurring of the precision of that exact sound, reverb kind of blurs it and kind of mushes it all together like a salad sort of. And the same thing for a mic. A mic is taking your voice, which may not sound that big and aggressive and firm, and making it a bigger voice. So when you are, I don't want to say discouraged, when you, so when you're trying to be precise and develop skills, you need to not use these aids. Now, the exception is, and again, I want you to hang on to this, don't forget this, if you're playing an electric instrument, you're playing a bass, you're playing electric guitar, I'm trying to think of other instruments that are made to be plugged in constantly. The bass, not a double bass, electric bass guitar, electric guitar. If you're going to practice those things, plug them in. Should you put reverb on them while you're practicing? If you're working on precision and skill, getting your patterns great, your scales great, working on some lick, no, because it's hiding the fact that you came in a little late. And let me jump over with that with the voice. Okay, so you're singing with a mic, and boy, you sound full, and you put a little reverb on there, boy, and it sounds so beautiful and amazing. And yeah, it sounds great. Don't do that when you're doing your exercises to build your voice and your range, and you want to hear, oh my gosh, that sounds so thin, or I'm really not hitting that accurately. That pitch was flat, and then that would go for every instrument. And I'm just going to say, on the flute. In music school, and again, I want you to get the picture of this. Now, there's reasons, and very great reasons, to use headphones and to use reverb and effects and to use a microphone. Great reasons. In music school, if you were discouraged, you wanted to go and practice in the organ room because it was just so echoey, and you just go in there and you just sound so great. You sound marvelous. And you're just like, oh, I'm the bomb. I'm the bee's knees. Can't get no better than me. And and then you go in the regular practice rooms, which were just dead. It just sucked up such, and it's like, well, I don't sound like I should. So, and the same thing, just by the way, going in the bathroom. So, singing with headphones is like, okay. I mean, I'm talking about the mic. Singing with a mic is like, I'm going to sing with a mic. When I perform, I sing with a mic. And so I want to know how to use the mic, and I want to, work the mic, as I say, and mic is a visual. So I'm singing, I'm doing this stuff, I'm switching my hands, and I'm, holding the mic funny ways and stuff, and trying to be exciting and interesting with my mic, but also just using the things that the mic does. The mic gives me a little reverb. So, and again, let's take that over to effects and reverb on your instrument. It sounds great, and that's what most of the albums you hear. The guy's got reverb, the guy's got effects, and it sounds great, And so what I'm getting at is it's a dichotomy. So just like all your practice should be this way anyway. It's like some of the times I am practicing and building skills, and some of the time, I can never get this, yeah, it worked. Some of the times I'm practicing and building skills, and some of the time I am performing, and I'm sort of trusting those skills have been built, and now I'm just going for it. So everyone, if you can, should regularly, as in if possible every day, spend, I'm going to give a percentage, let's say a third of your time with reverb, with mic, with headphones. And listen, guys, if you don't have an instrument that lends itself to playing with headphones, you should try to, if you can. The point is, it sounds so freaking good that I wonder how much it contributes to people becoming professional and great musicians, because it just sounds great, and they just go like, this is great. I got these in-ears monitors, and I sound pretty good with my voice, and I got this mic jacked up, just so I could be welcome to the buttery sounds of my voice, and so it besides you guys being able to hear it, it makes me encouraged, like, oh, cool, it sounds like a good sound. Same thing with the sax, same thing with the guitar. And so I'm telling you, it's a really, not psychologically, you big loser, you need some kind of help, some sort of attitudinal help, you poor baby. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that almost everyone's image, true image, what do I want to sound like? You're talking about an album or a live performance, but not a live with no sound system. You're talking about live in a sound system or recording through a sound system, all kind of tweaks, all kind of wonderful things. And sometimes the reason that you're not encouraged is because, hey, I don't sound like them. Well, guess what? They've got all that stuff. And so it is great to play with reverb, play with effects, to sing with a mic, because listen to yourself play and perform with headphones. It sounds real. It sounds exciting. It sounds big. It sounds like the real deal. Remember that. Period. Punto. And then when you are building skills, which should be every day, you're playing scales, you're playing arpeggios, you are doing long tones, the things you're doing to make a beautiful sound, really good skills. Do not use reverb. Do not use a microphone. Do not use effects, because you want to be like, that doesn't sound very good. That's not very accurate. I need to get more accurate. I need to have a better sound. It could be on your saxophone sound. I'm talking about, doesn't have to be the voice. It could be like, well, I have a really thin sound up there, or on the guitar, or whatever. So, and then remember the caveat, the true caveat is there's a few instruments, electric guitar and the bass, electric bass, and there may be another one that I'm not thinking about. But any instrument that is made to be plugged in. I don't mean an acoustic guitar that's got electronics, like I have several of those, So I can play that acoustic guitar all day long without electronics. But if I want, without it being plugged in. But the best way to do it would be to practice my exercises and stuff and work on things. And then like, hey man, let's plug that sucker in. Let's hear some beautiful, amazing sounds. Big, fat, full, like the album. This sounds like, the Doobie Brothers. This sounds like, Shaka Khan. So let's see. Let's see if there's anything else on that. Including the bathroom. Going in the bathroom. As a way to encourage you. We've got two pictures. The real picture, and that's nothing, except for those electric instruments. And then the encouraging big picture, because if I hear you perform, I'm expecting you would normally be on a mic with reverb, with effects, with an effects pedal, like that. And that's playing with those effects, and then also playing with a microphone, headphones. Wow, that sounds good. So, okay. All right. Now, here is my last question. Okay, let's see. What did it say on the blues singer's tombstone? What did the blues singer's tombstone say? The blues singer's tombstone said, on his tombstone, it said, "I didn't wake up this morning." So what did it say on the blues singer's tombstone? What was written on his tombstone? It said, "I didn't wake up this morning." Rolled out of bed. No. Didn't wake up this morning. Okay, so you'd have to know some blues songs. Okay, well, this is Mark Teaches Music. I'm Mark Black. That first part was our improv workshop, and this was our to play and sing, answering questions about music, as many as possible. It's really interesting about answering questions. It's like some questions are better answered by I'm not remotely, like there's not like there's a lot of people listening to this right now, but are people who aren't famous, because the number of people who become famous out of all the great musicians in the world is very, 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 very small. So sometimes it's good to get answers from maybe not the most famous people, because it may be closer to where most people are in their music. But anyway, so to play and sing is our questions, and then that was a marvelous question right there about what was written on the blues singer's tombstone. I didn't wake up this morning, and so So if you're interested in lessons, go to www.dallasmusiclessons, and you can email me at mark@dallasmusiclessons, and I will answer your questions if I can. And which many of them I can do that. So we ad-libbed in a kind of a smooth jazz probably, and then we ad-libbed, and I don't know what to call that last one. Pretty cool. And one song was a bunch of chords, but all in the same key. The second song was using variations of the one key. And so I appreciate you guys listening. Let's see. So the man, it's not right there. It is. It's not right there. Okay. So, all right. So I ain't got nothing else to say. I'm fixing to leave. And until I see you again. Now, I've been cutting off the end of these accidentally, but I want you to have fun and I want you to be awesome. Now I'm going to reach over here and I'm going to turn this off